Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome back. It's your daily dose of ESL Pro League Season 12. We're here with the North American region, as always, Gen.G versus Cloud9. About to go live in this really exciting and actually really important best of 3. Both of these teams struggling a little bit in the ESL Pro League, Josh.
Oh, they absolutely are. What a triple kill from Booster right there.
This game, is this game live, Josh? Oh, we are actually live.
So.
Are we?
We are.
Okay, there we go. Good start from me.
Love to see it. Kuster, that is a crazy 4-kill as well. And he's fallen right back. This is a really interesting approach. I'm not sure what he's going for here. He's got plenty of time to play with. Maybe that's his whole game here. He just hides, waits for Floppy to get aggressive, waits for some kind of sound cue, and then pushes into B last minute. This is really bizarre, though. This is very bizarre.
Well, this is a game of patience.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. What on earth is that? That is such an incredible read.
Well, starting things off really strong, supposedly. Catching me off guard, at least, with an ace. I think catching the whole of C9 off guard at the same time. What a wacky, wild pistol round. So wild, in fact, I didn't even realize we were live, Josh. But we are, sooner rather than later, into this best of 3. And Gen.G starting things off nice and strong here on the T side. That's exactly what you want. Start that economy rolling, get that money building, and picking up a MAC-10, 2 in fact, a couple of rifles as well for your troubles going into this second round against the Force Buy of C9.
Absolutely, and here on Dust2, of course, it's Cloud9's map pick. You mentioned before, this is a very important series for both teams. They're not doing all too well. They absolutely have to win this to try and wriggle their way out of that relegation spot. With Gen.G taking the pistol round like that, very convincing stuff. They want more than just the single round though, and with Som finding that opener on short, it's going to get instantly traded. So still a 4 versus 4. Just over a minute left on this clock, and as Floppy falls, now they start to gain some control and should be able to pincer on this A site.
Well, that's exactly what you're hoping for here, considering this is the setup, a 3 versus 3, and that smoke grenade actually lands pretty poorly. Ventet decides he needs an incendiary grenade, just that Molotov dropped to create a buffer between himself and this A-bomb site. There's the secondary smoke grenade, though. JT decides to spray right on through, takes his first target. Nice CXCY on this A-bomb site. The next to drop, C9. They're doing all of the damage just down to Automatic, who needs to hit all of the shots. Needs a bunch more with the deagle in hand. And JT's the next in line. Needs a 1 deag. It's not going to happen. C9 convert it. That's 1-1. The smoke grenade's just not good enough. The cover doesn't come through. That is going to be a round on the board there for C9. Turning things around nice and quickly early. And actually putting that one on the board. So successful stuff. Closing this up. Now they have the advantage going into round 3 and beyond. But Gen.G's not going to let this one go, Josh. They go with a force buy of their own. We see the pistols, the Kevlar come out. Couple of deagles, that P250, the Scout for Automatic.
All falling apart for Gen.G. A very clean round thus far for Cloud9. Real fantastic stuff. They took a fair amount of damage, but no casualties. They keep 4 rifles floating. That means they've all got 3k in the bank behind them, and very minimal reinvestments needed here in round number 4.
And that's exactly what you want on the C9 side. That change of pace, that 1 second round, and then converting it absolutely flawlessly. Now going into round 4, this is where Gen.G have to concede. They have to go for the full eco, supposedly, with just Automatic actually picking up a Scout. That's going to keep him without a sniper rifle into round number 5, the AWP at least. I don't think he would have been able to afford it anyway. So this is the double-edged sword of this sort of an investment. Sonic gets 2 kills, a bit of damage also done by Motum, with the scout connecting. A bit of an incognito investment from Gen.G. I don't think C9 will be hyper aware that this M4 has been retrieved, but Floppy is able to dispatch of it quite nicely. 3-1.
Very, very clean stuff since the pistol. They did well to recover it in the second, and now they're just starting to snowball a little bit. If they can take this one, it would be absolutely fantastic. It would reset Gen.G once again. Cloud9 can start to build that bank further. And early on your own map pick, especially on this CT side, that can be very, very important. They've opted for this double AWP setup, which I'm really interested to see how they actually decide to play this one out. And they're playing out with some pretty hard aggression as well over towards short, putting that 2-man stack there. They want to try and find that opener. For now, no kills found though. A minute 30 on the clock, and Gen.G start to encroach on this choke point, and it's Sonic to find the burst. Instantly traded, but it goes back the other way.
That's actually Sonic just doing an overwhelming amount of pressure there. Both of the AWPs connecting. You see OC also picking up the pieces through mid. This double AWP setup is a bit of a staple of the C9 defense on a map like Dust2, a map like Inferno as well. You might be picking up those double AWP setups. You want to keep Gen.G at an arm's length. With CXEY approaching this B-bomb site, it's time for Floppy to shine. Perhaps he does. Hits the headshot. That's important. Ventep, ever the star, doesn't shine there in round number 5. 4-1 to C9 as they start to lock this one away. We were actually picking our brains before the matchup, weren't we, Josh, as to whether C9 were going to go towards Train or go towards Dust2. It was actually the latter. We're here on Dust. This is their pick. It does mean that Gen.G gets to pick the side first, and funnily enough, they go towards that T side. That's something that we haven't touched on. I think a team actually does that if they are coming into a game quite cold. They need to control the momentum, control the pace right off the start of a series like this. And right now, it's just not working out for them. They've walked into that double AWP setup, they've won the pistol, and everything going wrong as of that point. This looks to be a quick 5-1 for Cloud9 at the 90-second mark.
Cloud9 have had a fantastic start off the back of that ace in the pistol round from Kusta. You'd think it'd be a bit of a morale booster for Gen.G, an opportunity for them to string together some rounds early on here on Dust2, which is absolutely what they're looking for by picking that T side. Try and take those early rounds, control the pace. Since then, though, they haven't been able to do a whole lot. They haven't even been able to find a whole lot of kills. Automatic, hoping that he can wrap around to B and get a bomb plant here. I think he is actually going to be allowed that, which is quite surprising. It's a 4 versus 1. They should know roughly where he is. And as long as he can get across these doors, which he successfully will, that's going to be a bomb plant. An opportunity for him to maybe find 1 or 2 more kills as well. Not sure if the round's in contention just yet. But a little bit of a blunder from Cloud9 to allow him to have all this leg room.
Yeah, exactly. This is a round that Gen.G shouldn't really be gaining much off at all. You always need to have, I think it was actually Floppy just playing the solo defense on that B-bomb site before. He doesn't really need to rotate. Maybe being a little bit frag hungry here in this map. C9 doing a good job nonetheless to secure 5, get onto the board. Those rounds when you've got maybe a couple of Desert Eagles in hand, a scout here and there, can actually be somewhat dangerous. So nice to survive with 4 players alive. I think one of the reasons why they actually played that more passive setup towards B was Floppy on actually just 9 points of health. They don't want to give another AK-47 away. So you've got that double-edged sword. Do you put 2 players towards this side of the map, or just completely circumnavigate it, play safety in numbers on mid, minimize those rifles, maybe even just gun in for the retake as well late in the round? That's going to happen. A bit of a funky setup for C9 here. OC hits a pair of shots.
I don't think I've ever seen an AWP get that aggressive in lower tunnels like that, especially on a buy round. It works out absolutely perfectly for him. He finds those 2 openers, and everything falls apart around those opening picks. Gen.G can't bring anything into round number 7. This was, of course, a full investment, and it's gone straight in the bin, in the trash, in the garbage, Squid. Automatic. Once again in this position where he's just got to try and fire off some damage. Might try and go for another bomb plant here on the B site. If he does so, it may be a bit foolish. He might throw away this AWP. But with a minute left on the clock, I'm not sure if it's all too viable to go for a save here. Instead, he is going to go for the damage, try and clutch this one up. Right now, it's a very, very dangerous game he's playing. He's got a nice gap in the smoke, and he's actually able to spot JT through it. Is he going to expect the second to be on the site, though? No way. He clears Sonic's angle. Sonic's peek right behind the box, and he's going to be able to finish things off. Came a little bit close for comfort, but Cloud9 once again securing the investment. And they go 6-1.
Yeah, one more time, a good configuration from C9. You see that double underpass push right into the lower B tons. You've actually got OC on the AWP, firing through at close range. Not always where that AWP is best utilized, but with the smoke grenades to actually protect them, backtracking through mid if needed. They actually find both of those frags, Josh, and that's almost round over before we even get started for Gen.G. It's unfortunate that they kind of fall right into that setup going through to the B bomb site, but C9 doing a really good job at actually competing with these angles, reading that maybe Gen.G will throw through quite the standard round. They do. They walk into the setup and they lose a bunch of men for it, and realistically actually lose the round in its entirety. Here, C9 on a bit of a winning streak. This is where Gen.G need to really wake up. We say one of the weaknesses with this Gen.G side is actually the chemistry. They don't often bring it to the table. Their firepower actually somewhat supersedes this C9 roster, but it's that teamwork that really does favor, the young gun ex-ATK roster.
You're absolutely right in saying there is a huge wealth of talent on this Gen.G side. We just haven't seen it so far on Dust2. It's been a pretty one-sided affair. Gen.G look to change that. 45 seconds left on this clock. The bomb's over towards short. They've actually got a bit of a setup there. I think they are going to go for an execute at some point soon, but with Floppy in position to get a pincer going. There's 3 CT stacked up over towards long as well. They might be able to shut it down, but with Floppy falling first, OC misses that all-important shot, and that completely opens up the B site. No chance for the rotation. The smoke and the Molotov prevents it. And I think they might just go for an early save call here, Cloud9. There's absolutely no point in them barreling into this B bomb site and throwing these weapons away.
No, they've got so many advantages right now. That money built up, Motum up to the $10,000 mark with the loss bonus. Adding to that, he'll be probably up towards, I guess, 11 and a half. Yes, there's an opportunity for them to prize a couple of rifles away from the Gen.G side, but is that a risk that you realistically want to take? Motum says yes. Now wants to backtrack with the AK-47, forcing CXCY into the angle. I can't imagine either roster will be foaming at the mouth to get too aggressive in this one. For C9, it would mean maximum reinvestments, perhaps, into the next round. Gen.G, their money is absolutely broken. They need to cling on to as many of these rifles as possible. 6-2 nonetheless, an important round. You see, just playing that smoke towards the middle of the map absolutely flawlessly there to find that opening frag. See, I think JT was playing a little up close and personal. As it dissipates, the pre-fire comes through. It's perfectly landed. And 6-2 as a result.
Really, really fantastic stuff. Even after finding that opening pick, the way they throw the Molotov through the smoke, deny Cloud9 from getting up close to it, maybe try and flash through and prevent that wraparound. Instead, they just cut it off, secure themselves the round, and keep everybody alive. It works absolute wonders for the bank. I like what Motum's doing here. Wrapping all the way around, getting tons and tons of information, but that information's not worth anything. They now know the position of all of the Gen.G players, but they can't contest it whatsoever. Floppy does find himself one through the smoke, but Gen.G are now allowed onto the bomb site. They should be able to get this C4 down. And with the man advantage, make that a 2-man advantage, they might just be able to close this one out.
Versus 2, and Som decides to get aggressive instead of hiding away on the A site. And the opportunity to get that C4 tapped through, and Automatic holds cover perfectly. There's a third round for Gen.G, gaining a little bit of momentum now and putting the C9 economy into a bit of a shaky state. This will probably be their last buy on the board. I expect Motum maybe dropping over an AWP as well, just juggling around those rifles to get through a full investment. It is pretty wholesome, Josh, with the exception of maybe a smoke grenade and a Molotov for JT. A smoke for Sonic as well. Everybody else, we've got 3 smokes actually on the C9 side. One of them fact does have to be utilized early towards mid. Testing the secondary incendiary towards long. Does force Som into the angle, but with the flurry of flashbangs, nobody can spot anything. And there's the secondary incend just before Som into the open. He's going to be burnt alive. Caught in the firefight by Motum as well. Nice trade for C9. This aggression instantly gets punished. It doesn't work out for them.
Aggression is now starting to find themselves a few kills here and there, but Gen.G still looking like they're firmly in the driver's seat. I thought they might try and wrap around to be there. Instead, they're opting for this A site where only Sonic is waiting. He's right out in the open as well. He has to try and connect this shot. Fall back, call for the reinforcements. That's exactly what he does. Falls away to long, has to land a second, and it's not going to happen. Kusta puts him to bed, and OC now left in a 2 versus 1 to try and clutch up for his side. Coming in from short, he has got somewhat of an element of surprise with the speed of this retake, but with only a nade, nothing more he can do. Automatic takes him out. Gen.G put themselves onto 4, and actually a really, really nice round from them there.
Yeah, easier said than done in a situation like that. 3 in a row on the board for Gen.G. This is where the pressure really starts to bite C9. 6-1 up previously, losing 3 in a row. All of those advantages now in the garbage. It's really time to shine with just a couple of pistols, perhaps. This is a full, wholesome eco. And they're just going to really walk into this one. Som should be able to pick up a bunch of frags. Instead, he actually gets taken away by the USPS. Houston now to hold away the line. And Gen.G need to contain this pressure, this momentum, as the second frag goes through. That's the break even for the CTs. It's exactly what they're looking for right there. And with Kusta low on HP, he's actually being hunted right now. And Automatic might be able to save the day. Only 2 players fall for Gen.G there. It's not the best, but not the worst round going into the last couple of this half.
Well, they've certainly done what was needed to bring this back. This was looking like a very, very one-sided affair for Cloud9. They were sitting 6-1. They were looking super confident. It's, of course, their map pick and a real must-win series for them. But now Gen.G have brought it back. If they can win this bye round, they level things out 6-6. It's still a huge opportunity for a strong half. Automatic getting super aggressive with this AWP, actually charging right down middle. Wants to take this fighter through doors. No one from Cloud9's home, though. He's just going to be holding this angle, wait to see if there's any rotations that come through. Pretty powerful spot for him to be posted on, though.
Pretty standard stuff, all things considered, from Cloud9. Just holding with Motum in the CT spawns. Sonic piping through with the only bit of aggression that we actually see on this CT side. Looking for this AWP shot over by short. Doesn't actually spot out anything apart from that smoke forcing him back and away. At the 65-second mark, Gen.G, they haven't found that opening yet. But I feel like all of the momentum is on their side. They take short control. They've got this pincer set up on the A bomb site if needed. This could be a bait and switch, though. With the bomb down towards the lower B tons, CXCY could very easily rotate this one through to either the short or the drop down on mid. And still with a couple of smoke grenades in play as well. I don't think this will be enough to force the rotate over towards the A-bomb site, but might actually keep 3 players pincered here. And JT is in need of hitting more than just the one shot. He's unable to achieve it, leaving Floppy solo on this B site. He needs to connect, and it's Bentet, of course, to break open the defense. Bomb should go down, and the retake is on. Fast.
It's very fast. That might work out for them, but it absolutely does. Bentek can't find himself anything. The B-bomb site, a notoriously hard one to retake, especially with the utility that was still on that T side. Cloud9 respond perfectly to it. They say, no, we're not going to allow you to get post-plant positions, use that utility. We're going to throw 2 flashes over, and we are going to barge in. They play it pretty flawlessly, even retain that double up setup as well. So not allowing Gen.G to tie up this scoreline. They want to try and run away with this once again. Put down a 9-6, 10-5 half. That's what they're aiming for right now.
Yeah, back to that retake for a second. That pace really did seem to catch Bentet especially off guard. When you push as that bomb is being planted, it's effectively a 1 versus 2 for those couple of seconds. Even with the smoke placed, if you're able to take that fight sooner rather than later, it can be game over for an after-planting duo of members on that B site there. It's a lovely opening pick for Automatic this time. An aggressive stance out long also finds JT fully blind. There's one more on the menu. It's Motum hidden and tucked away inside of the pit. But with Bentek getting aggressive as well, another AWP shot missed. C9 happened to trade them back. Here comes the aggression from short as OC finds another one towards the middle of the map. Getting nice and aggressive here at the 80-second mark.
Oh my.
This is sneaky.
This is really sneaky. The issue is that he can't relay the info and Kusta gets punished. 2 versus 1 situation now. Cloud9 should be able to take this one with Motum with that AWP. They've got a really nice pincer coming in. Exy though right now. He has absolutely no idea where either of these CTs could be playing from. He's right out in the open. He wants to try and have an off angle for this first frag, but there's so many angles he's exposed from. He now has information on the first, but nothing he can do with it. OC finishes things off, and Cloud9 put themselves onto 8, slowly chipping away at this Gen.G bank as well. This might be their last buy. Actually, with that bomb plant, yeah, they'll certainly have enough for a buy into this one. Maybe not another after that, though, if Cloud9 could string together another.
No, absolutely not. I think it'll be pretty much 4 buys until the end for Gen.G here. This will be a full buy. If they take this round as well, I guess the loss bonus is fairly nicely built up at this point as well. They should have a little bit of excess cash carried through into round number 15 as well. We'll just about see. Maybe they'll actually be broke, in fact. You see, the utility actually just pushes that one over the edge. They've got no bonus bank. So with the loss bonus at $2,400, this actually gets really sketchy for Gen.G going into round number 14 and 15, especially if they don't win this one. But CXCY timing shot on the AWP. You actually see that one thrown over by Automatic. Kusta more or less off of the AWP nowadays, but this could be a real problem. Motum's got aggressive. That drops the C4, and now he's got a couple of decisions to make. Where does he linger between? Bentet seems to want to pick up the sniper to find the shot, but he has no idea where Motum's playing from. He's within the T-spawn right now. Bentet misses the one crucial kill, and Motum converts to all 3, leaving just Som, just Kusta in this 2 versus 3 scenario. Som's taking tons of map control here, right outside the B bomb site, and Floppy's going to fall the same way. OC with a nice reactionary shot leaves Kusta clutching at straws. A 1 versus 2.
Certainly a winnable one, but they should know where he's coming from, especially with that smoke being deployed. OC can relay that information. The only real issue for them right now is they've got 2 AWPs in hand. Kusta can find this first frag. It becomes very, very winnable for him. Playing this one well so far, but he can't spot out OC. The flash blinds him. And Cloud9, rather comfortable stuff once again to put their 9th on the board. They've got cash to invest into this last of the half as well, and the same cannot be said for Gen.G, especially considering they couldn't get a bomb plant there. Really, really nice stuff from Motum in that round. We've actually seen him go for that short aggression 3 or 4 times so far this half, but he hasn't really been caught out by it. Either he pushes all the way through and actually doesn't find anything, or it's been in kind of like a force buy round where he's had teammates with him and it's somewhat predictable. But to go for it in that buy-up, Gen.G certainly weren't expecting it, and he is able to get away with murder. Now they're just against the pistols. They should be able to close this one out 10-5 if they play their cards right.
Yeah, this is the force buy we were talking about before that puts Gen.G in really sketchy territory and might give C9 an opportunity to get up to 10. That's a lovely flick. Can't convert onto the second man. It's Bentet to convert. Leaves Sonic not quite solo on this A-bomb site. He has got Motum support, but with Bentet hitting all of the 1-deags, this one might actually be in contention once again. The Deagles are doing tons and tons of damage. JT and Sonic also fall. It's the double-double to get the job done. CXZY finishes this one off. And we go into half-time with a 6-9 scoreline. We'll head to a very short intermission, but don't go anywhere because we'll be back in a few moments with the second half of this one.
back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Stand up, come on, it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out. Keep holding on, show him how to make a miracle. Stand up, come on, it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out. Keep holding on, show him how to make a miracle. Breathing in, breathing out, there's no more room for any doubt. Empty mind, steady hand, just stay close, stick to the plan. I hear them coming, and I'm ready as I'll ever be. I hear them coming down, ready as I'll ever be. Don't give up, don't give in. Don't let me down. Be the one to wipe their grin when they hear this sound. Don't give up, don't give in before they catch a glimpse. I know you'll find the strength within. This is your last chance. This is it, this is not a drill. Hold nothing back, this should to kill. In this leap of faith that you're in me too. You stand alone, but I'll watch over you. The clock is ticking, the clock is ticking. A single second could mean everything. Time is running, the time is running out. Don't give up, don't give in. Don't let me down. Be the one to wipe their grin when they hear this sound. Don't give up, don't give in before they catch a glimpse. I know you'll find the strength within. This is your last chance. Now's your
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's half two of Dust2 between Cloud9 and Gen.G. A fairly close and competitive first half going 9-6, and now an all-important pistol round to try and distinguish these two teams, try and separate them before we get into the brunt of these rifle rounds. Getting very aggressive towards the middle of the map to start, just tapping, but nobody connecting with the Glocks. Now out towards the B bomb site with Gen.G. They've got loads of reinforcements. C9 are going to walk right into this one, taking all of the shots. It's a flurry of frags from Gen.G. Just trying to stay alive before the action comes into progress, leaving just Bentet a 1 versus 2.
An absolutely doable 1 versus 2. He has the information on both the players, but Cloud9 play it flawlessly. Floppy and JT double swing the angle. There's absolutely no way Bentet can find both kills at the same time. So that's going to be double digits for them. A very important pistol round. Had Gen.G been able to take it and close this gap, it would have put them in a very good position to take this first map. And in doing so, a very good position to take the series. Of course, we're going over to Nuke next, which will be Gen.G's map pick and a real stronghold for them. So if they can take Dust2, then it would be absolutely incredible. Cloud9 right now, they have just looked like the stronger side. We saw a little bit of a burst of energy from Gen.G after they went 6-1 down. They pulled it right back. We haven't seen a whole lot since then.
Yeah, really important timing here. 10-6. This is C9's opportunity to really break ahead, get to those magical 11 or 12 rounds that they're really aiming and gunning for right now. Of course, that would double the scoreline, perhaps, of this Gen.G side. We did see Cloud9 actually win their force buy on their CT half just 10-20 minutes ago. So if Gen.G can do the same, that then puts them on the board. Actually gets this one started. Maybe not favorably after losing the pistol. This actually does look like a technical timeout, though. I'm not necessarily sure.
Yeah, I can see the chat. I can see the chat. PC bugging.
Oh, PC
Chrome
bugging.
randomly opened 1,000 tabs and he couldn't stop it. That is spooky.
Cheeky little Google Chrome. Why'd you do this to us? We're trying to play, and it's an ESL Pro League match. This isn't a joke. Come on, Chrome.
That would terrify me. If I was mid-game and I just got tabbed out and all of a sudden, you know how like Chrome tabs just spam open? I just saw that. I'd be terrified.
I'll be honest, I've never had that one before. Not the
Nor have
Chrome
I.
Ghost.
Nor have I. They're still talking about it. Kusta said his computer literally crashed. He had 50k Chrome tabs open.
That must be a world record. Somebody ring up Guinness. See if we might crown a world champion here.
You
Get
need a
that
whole
little
lot of
piece
RAM
of
for
paper
that.
and everything.
Yeah.
They're very serious, those Guinness Book of World Record adjudicators. They come out with their clipboard. They don't ever smile. They get paid a bonus if they don't smile throughout the whole day.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, they give you a world record if you win one. I think 50k tabs must be approaching a record here.
Must be approaching a record. You'd need so much RAM for that, Squid. After about 10, my computer starts slacking. It doesn't like it.
Sometimes, you know, day of researching Counter-Strike, perhaps. You got 30, 40, 50 tabs open. You open all of the player pages. You want to scroll through them really quickly. You've got the little small tabs at the top of your screen. You can't maneuver through anything. I thought that was impressive, but 50,000. And this is an important match, remember, for both of these teams. Cloud9 are actually 1-5, pretty horrendous, to be honest, in this group stage. And Gen.G, they're 2-4. For them, it's actually, I guess it's equally important for both of these teams. Cloud9 want to avoid that relegation spot at all points. Luckily, they've got Triumph behind them. They've gone 0-6 here in this group stage. And realistically, I don't know if they're actually going to take a win here against any of these teams, so they might just cement themselves right at the bottom of the table, 0-7, 0-8, or whatever the worst record that you can get is. But Cloud9, this is a chance for them to pick up their second best-of-3 win. For Gen.G, it's an opportunity to get onto their third win with the likes of 100 Thieves, the likes of Chaos, who are both rocking 3-3 records right now. They've actually played one extra game. In fact, no, every team in this group stage have played 6 games. So, and they are playing concurrently right now. Remember, you can go and check out the A stream. I think Liquid versus Evil Geniuses is on right now. That's a pretty sick matchup, to be honest. Probably the headline matchup of this whole North American group stage.
So, taking a look at Gen.G's like playoff win conditions, right? And this is courtesy of the Eternal J that put it in the chat beforehand, right? For Gen.G to make top 4 in the table, they need to win 2 one-sided maps in this series, and they need Chaos and 100 Thieves to lose their series. So there's a whole lot of win conditions for them to actually take a top 4 spot, which would put them into the playoffs. And obviously, looking at those other matches between the Chaos game and the 100 Thieves game, it's very, very unlikely that both teams lose those series. but there is still that slither of a chance that they could get through off of the back of this one if they take this map convincingly from now, I suppose, and they take the next as well. But every single round that they give Cloud9 puts them further and further away from that goal and makes it even harder.
Yeah, that's what's so cruel about a round-robin group stage like this, is that the tournament might already be over for them. It depends, as you said, on all of those win conditions. You said that 100 Thieves and Chaos need to, like, miraculously, massively lose both of their series, and then Gen.G in the meantime need to win not just every map from here on out, but pretty much every single round as well to really bolster up that round difference. I just can't see it happening, Josh. I think that their chances of actually making it into those top 4 is slim to none, unfortunately. And considering they've lost 10 rounds in this map already, it's looking pretty sketchy, to say the least.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if this break in the pace helps all too much either. I don't think there's much to talk about after that pistol round. Even if there is, with 50k Chrome tabs opening, I'd be going, ah. I wouldn't be.
You'd be going, ah.
Yeah,
like you're at the
I'd be
dentist?
terrified. Yeah, but like I'm really scared of the dentist because he's spamming Chrome tabs in my face.
That's a pretty scary dentist. Usually a little bit of, I don't know what that drug is called. That like candy cane drug that they pump into your face.
I don't know what it's called either. I'm not a dentist.
I'm also not a scientist. I don't really know a lot of things. That's the sad factor here. The other sad factor is that we're not into this second half yet. Well, we are. We've played the pistol, but still into this technical timeout with... It was Som's PC that actually completely died. He is back in the server, so let's hope that he can get into this matchup in the next couple of moments. Of course, you want the playing conditions to be absolutely perfect, especially in a matchup that could potentially be massively important for both of these teams. Remember, ESL Pro League, it's the biggest league in the world. It's the one that you really need to win. Not just win, but stay in that top 4, stay in contention, not, more importantly, fall into that relegation zone where, yeah, you're going to be staying at home when we go back to LAN. You're not going to be picking up those ESL Pro Tour points, which do heavily contribute to, are you getting invited or do you have to qualify for some of these biggest tournaments in the world? I'm talking about the ESL 1 Colognes. I'm talking about the IEM Katowices of the world, of the circuit. ESL, funnily enough, actually just publishing their whole circuit for 2021 today. They just published it. They put it out. So we can see the whole calendar for next year. See, I think 8 tour stops, which is massively exciting stuff. The dates for ESL Pro League Season 13 as well thrown into the mix. Yeah, really exciting stuff. And both of these teams want to be in contention. Unfortunately, you've got a bit of a cloud, ironically, over C9's head in this series. The fact that they won't be continuing with this massive behemoth brand. That's definitely disappointing, but this is where you need to put up some really good results if you're that 5-man roster. They need to be picked up by some organization to pay the bills, get the salary in. I don't know who that org is going to be as of this point. Nobody does. Maybe they don't even. So that's got to really be inside your head and really upping the pressure, even in a series like this where, yeah, you're 1-5 in this group stage, but you need to take wins against big teams, show potential. I know a couple of months ago, maybe February, March, they were winning, C9 were winning all of these online qualifiers, being just a really powerhouse of an online team. Now we're in just an online region when all CS is being played over the internet. They haven't been the big winners of this current scenario, which, to be honest, if I had put my money on the table, if I had put a prediction down, I would have guessed that they would have been.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, but you're absolutely right in saying this is where they need to start putting up some big wins after a massive shift where it can be quite daunting as a team where you're under a big brand like Cloud9. Cloud9 go for a huge investment into their new roster, which I'm super excited for. I really am excited to see who they announce as those final two pieces of the puzzle for that team. But for these guys, it's not too much fun. They absolutely have to prove themselves in order to get picked up by another top organization and get themselves back into a position where they are playing in these major events. And if they don't do so, obviously, if they just get relegated here from Pro League, and it could just be their demise.
Yeah, that's the scary factor. I feel like, obviously, Floppy and OC have already been offered contracts to compete on this new form Cloud9 roster. They made the decision, for better or for worse, to play as a 5-man, to choose friends over the big paycheck. And you can guarantee that it would have been a big paycheck offered, bigger than you're going to get elsewhere. I think Gen.G has been very upfront about the fact that they're paying big salaries, they're publicly released, they're out there for public consumption. They want to build the world's best team. He's called it the Manchester United of the esports scene, of the Counter-Strike circuit perhaps. That's the sort of brand that Cloud9 strive to be and once was. Remember, they were taking big international tournaments under both the Sean Gares lineup and obviously a major champion under the likes of Automatic and Stewie and the likes. Really powerful, big brand, big team, big money behind it. They're not looking to be even second best in the NA region. They're looking to be that star-studded roster that every other North American organization and around the world looks to as the beacon for NACS.
There's a lot of competition nowadays as well. Like, for that spot, of course, when so many of these North American orgs have come into Counter-Strike, you've now got 100 Thieves to contend with. EG have got a big roster. You've got Liquid. Of course, maybe not an NA team, but FaZe coming into Counter-Strike a few years back as well. Put another big NA org on the map.
Yeah, I do think that Liquid and Evil Geniuses are the two to contend with, right? They're the two teams with massive money behind them, big rosters. In the case of Evil Geniuses, big recent results. For Liquid, massive historic results. Not really being at that same level right now as they once were, looking to clamber back and climb into the top echelon of CS. They're in the top echelon of CS, but the very best North American team where they're trying to contend in EG. We've seen a couple of best of 5 finals recently, namely maybe ESL 1 Cologne, and it feels like those are the two teams really leading the charge. Cloud9 need to be in those top 3 teams, contending for those grand finals, taking those big playoff spots, getting to international semi-finals and grand finals, and as Gen.G says, winning championships, bringing trophies back to the USA, and that's really the goal here for that specific brand. Quite a lengthy technical timeout, perhaps, but it has just come to an end. The second half here of Dust2 about to go live once again between these two teams. Gen.G, it's the force buy to get us started in round number 17.
A force buy that really needs to come through, otherwise they start allowing Cloud9 to get to some dangerous numbers. Automatic trying to open something up with this scout. Does spot out the head, deals some damage onto OC, but no kill comes through, and in the meantime, Cloud9 have taken a ton of control. They're all in lower tunnels. They're going to try and get this flash through, get through those doors, find this opening pick. It's only Som here with the scouts, try and contest it. Actually does a little bit of damage through the door once again. Cloud9, they're just all in position now. They've taken quite a lot of control early on here in round number 17.
And this is what makes C9 so scary. It's all about their T side for me. That entry pack, you see it once again with Motum. He'll be commonly leading the charge along with JT and this time OC with that scout. Just gesturing for a little bit of control towards the A bomb site, seeing if they can catch any of these Gen.G members out open on short. we can see a passive defense. CX is just hidden away on this A site with the deagle in hand. He did massive things with it in round number 15. Now it's to make a reappearance and a re-emergence here in round number 17 with a combination of automatic with this scout at the ready. There's the tag, no frag yet. And the deagle needs to spring to life. There it goes out and only connects with the first one dig. Lots of damage dealt. He's going to peek again right into the Galil of MOTM. Floppy now applying the reverse pressure, but automatic seemingly hitting all of the shots. He's been spotted. They're taken clean away by OC, but it's not good enough. Som closes him away, and that's Gen.G with the reverse round once again. We saw C9 do it in the first half. There's the turnaround, the change of pace.
Really, really fantastic stuff there from Gen.G. CXZI not only finding himself a kill and dealing tons more damage on top of it, but actually just staying alive for so long buys tons of time for the reinforcements to come through. Automatic can get back in position and just wreak havoc with that scout. He actually found 3 kills that round, especially with those tagged up Deagle players. He can really just mop the floor. Cloud9, well, just with the pistols in hand, they're going for a real fast play in lower tunnels. Som can hear all of the sound cues. He's relaying this information and he's able to find himself a kill in the meantime. Automatic comes in with the scout, tapping away, trying to find more than the single frag. But for now, they actually all go 1 for 1. And, well, Gen.G are able to pick up a couple in the meantime. So certainly still their round for the taking. I really don't see any opportunity for JT to come back into this one. But a fantastic 1 dig to open things up might just make it possible for him.
Needs to do something amazing, and up against Kusta, only hits the first tag, not really with massively notable damage. Kusta doesn't want to get aggressive through this one, instead play passive, reserved play with the MP9. Might actually give away the A bomb site to JT, but here come the sound cues. This should force and prompt the rotate over from Gen.G. They have all of the information. JT, thunder footsteps over towards this A bomb site, but should get the C4 down and away. There goes the jump shots from Kusta, and they do connect. Nicely done with the MP9. That converts an 8th round here for the CTs. And this map might actually be in contention. We know that C9 have picked it. We go on to Nuke next, which is a bit of a powerhouse pick for Gen.G. These are the first 2 maps that we can kind of guarantee will come through. We were a little uneasy on what the 3rd map would be in this series, thinking between Vertigo and Inferno. Maybe C9 would actually go for the Inferno pick. They didn't. It actually went to Vertigo instead. So more of a confidence pick than trying to go towards Gen.G's weaknesses. It was actually Cloud9 who banned out Inferno there in that 2nd ban phase. So an interesting pick, a confidence pick. And that's what a team like this really needs, I think.
Vertigo will be a really, really exciting map if it comes to it. But if Gen.G can take Dust2, they might just be able to take the series 2-0 with Nuke being such a strong map for them. A nice opening here from Cloud9, just with this full eco to actually find this opening kill. They might be able to get onto the site and get a plant here. It becomes more and more unlikely as the reinforcements come through, but the bomb does actually go down. So a pretty successful eco from Cloud9 to find 2 kills, get the plant as well. That's going to give them a bit more cash to work with in the next. But now it's within 1 round. Gen.G have got themselves onto 9. And it's rather dangerous stuff. They're looking much, much better here on their CT side of Dust2. All players firing all cylinders right now. And Automatic actually putting up some big frags as well. 22-13. No one else on his team really coming close to that one.
Yeah, it's down to Automatic and Ben-Tet a lot of the time to be those 2 big star players there for Gen.G. If one shows up, you're sometimes actually missing the other, and unfortunately it's Ben-Tet lagging behind on the scoreboard. Fortunately, Gen.G aren't lagging behind on rounds, and as Cloud9 get aggressive towards A-Long, it does merit them the first 2 frags. It's Sonic just blistering pace outwards and onwards, leaves Ben-Tet clutching at straws to find 2, but only 2. Trades us back into a favourable position to Cloud9. As now Gen.G split across this whole map usually massively favours this T side. They're in need of some humongous frags, and CX likely the man to receive the challenge. The AWP shouldn't connect with anything. In fact, they circumnavigate him right into CXCI's M4A4, who's at the ready, and he instantly drops to Floppy as well. Successful round from C9, and Automatic really needs to consider saving this sniper.
The only real chance for them to take that one was for CXCI to go big there on the B site, find himself 1, maybe 2 kills. Without it, there's really not a whole lot of chance. Automatic, you should be able to save this AWP. I think he wants to try and find a couple of exit frags as well. He knows that the economy of Cloud9 isn't going to be very strong. But he also knows that he can't reinvest for that sniper if he loses it. So he does really need to hold on to it here. He has spotted out that T player. It starts to get scary. He doesn't even want anything to do with that fight. He is going to fall away, but he gets punished in the meantime. Cloud9 go hunting. Not only do they strip the AWP away, but they actually retrieve it for themselves. So a very, very successful round from them, and it puts them on to 11.
Yeah, and more importantly, with that AWP gone, it gives Gen.G absolutely nothing to work with here in round number 21. In fact, it will be the force buy once again. This did work out for them before, but are Cloud9 going to be aware of this one? This might just give away way too many rounds, Josh. A 13th, perhaps, on the board for the T side. I think that's just way too many to give away. Maybe you just have to eat the single eco and go in with an albeit not a favourable buy into the next. This puts a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Ben Tet, remember, who's been quite a quiet player here in the first map. Really needs to show up coming up on Nuke. I think in this one we are actually expecting a 3-map series going all of the way. We actually saw the odds, which were incredibly close cut. But when you actually break down each individual map, you can kind of see why. Dust2 from maybe even home territory for Cloud9. For Gen.G Nuke, you could say the same, with Vertigo being a bit of a middle ground. Actually do fancy like Gen.G's chances ever so slightly on that third and final map. I think they come in with the very slight advantage, but it is a coin flip. We've got to be honest. We're not talking about a 70-30 advantage on that third and final map. I think it's pretty much as close to 50-50 as you can possibly get in a series of CS. Right here, no kills, but plenty of HP taken away from Motum at the 40-second mark.
Time pressure starting to mount here for Cloud9, and it's looking like they're almost certainly going to try and commit to this A site. There's 3 CT stacked up to try and deal with it. Som's in a pretty powerful position, but only if it goes overlooked. He's tucked right away with this MP9, and he could go absolutely huge. Finds himself 2 a dink on the third as well. He might have just single-handedly won the round for Gen.G, and such an important one to take. 10 seconds left on this clock. Floppy knows he's got no chance, and he has to fall away. Fantastic stuff from Gen.G there. As you said, this was a real must-win round for them. If they lose it, Cloud9 will be able to put themselves onto 13, and that's where it becomes very, very dangerous territory. But they keep it in contention, and we are in for a ride. This might be going the full distance.
That's so sad. Cloud9 absolutely signed their own death warrant by not checking Som. Just the MP9 to contend with. Those cheeky corners, funky angles, and they just don't check their corners. That one goes amiss. He's able to find, I think, just about 280 HP's worth of damage, and there's no way to take that A bomb site after that's been dealt. C9, a massive mistake, stops them from going on to those all-important 12-13 rounds. And if Gen.G end up winning this map, that's a key moment in this first to really look back on as we clamber through this series. It puts their money in a really strong state. A couple of AK-47s retrieved. You see the AWP once again in the hands of Automatic. That's a massive turnaround moment here on Dust2.
It absolutely is. Now we're seeing a rather shaky buy from Cloud9. It's a little bit better than what we saw from Gen.G in the last. But still, Sonic just down to that Deagle. OC on the Galil. Limited utility on a few of these guys as well. They absolutely need to find the frags if they want to try and win this round. And if they don't, Gen.G will almost certainly be able to pull ahead, take the lead here on Dust2. Something that we haven't seen hardly at all this game. And with Kusta finding the opener, very, very nice headshot onto Floppy. Goes completely untraded as well, but he actually wants more. He swings right out, gets himself a second and a third. This has absolutely been crushed. In Cloud9, nothing more they can do. JT He can't even save here. That's it. There we go. Dead. See ya. Automatic puts him to bed. Gen.G put themselves onto 11.
Yeah, really weak round, all things considered. That seems to be the momentum break there for Gen.G. 2 in a row, strapping those rounds together on the CT side. Finally, with 5 players surviving as well. Starting to build that economy here going into round number 23. It's actually automatic again to do some really big work. Kusta's starting to step up to 17 frags. And Cloud9 have actually been digging quite deep into their strat book. That's a B split that we often see work out. This with just pistols. The opportunity to do a little bit of damage onto shorts, but with Som actually surviving there, how does he get away? Fading like a ghost into the smoke. And at the 90-second mark, C9 might be just ground to a halt by these rifles. Automatic will go for the swing. It's a little overzealous against 3 Deagles. He does get his body shot to pieces. Shouldn't be too much damage for C9 here. They should probably crumble. Remember CS, it's all about shoulda, coulda, woulda. We'll see if they can actually challenge towards mid, maybe even hunt out some. One bullet would actually take them away. Especially against the retrieved M4A4 in the hands of Motum, but that's the first shot, the important one to nail. And this bomb should actually go down here. So another nice successful eco round here from C9 across to this A bomb site.
Absolutely has been. This lack of Kevlar should cause them some problems here as the retake starts to come through. They can't even get any strong positions for the post plant either. But Motum staying alive, still dealing some damage. Not for much longer, though. Gen.G do manage to secure the round. That's going to be their 12th. Them taking the lead. Very, very nice stuff. Held on to that AWP as well. Not too bad whatsoever. This is now going to be another full investment from Cloud9, though. An opportunity for them to bring this one back 12-12. If they can't, just by the nature of how that bank has really whittled down, Gen.G might be able to pull away here and close this one out.
Yeah, that seems to actually be a bit of a rinse and repeat stratagem there for Cloud9 on those ecos. Attacking for those opening frags. Try and get yourself a 1 deagle so before just pile driving onto short. Yes, you're challenging the AWP of automatic, but he can only really hit 1, maybe even 2 shots there. And it usually guarantees that you get a bomb plant, a bit of bonus cash. Whereas if you try and just take that B bomb site with heavy aggression with only a couple of pistols, yes, if you take it, the likelihood is you're going to win the round with only pistols. But the chances are you won't be able to breach that defense with, unarmored deagles. Now you see the change of pace. It's the double AWP setup, and automatic opens things up again. OC instantly drops. And at the 70-second mark, the C4's been spotted. Sonic's aggression through mid can easily be thwarted by the AWP on the B bomb site. That's in the hands of Som, as I mentioned. But automatic, he's not done yet. There's another bullet connecting.
Really incredible stuff. He's been so versatile this round, going for that paper-thin peek over towards short to find the opener, then dancing around to long to find the second. Cloud9, they were trying to go to their old faithful eco round strat that they've been going for, where they've taken control on short, had tons of success with it, but with the rifles, it's just been countered. They're falling apart with Som on that secondary AWP, just ripping through them, even finding the third as well. You cannot fault that round whatsoever for Gen.G. They played it perfectly. The AWPs did all the work. Automatic sitting on 26 frags right now as Gen.G put their 13th round on the board.
Yeah, that's a star-studded performance by the snipers. The double AWP setup making their first appearance here on Dust2 and paying dividends. You actually saw C9 resort to double AWPs with OC and Sonic picking up the pieces and actually doing a lot of damage. It's very viable here on Dust. And C9 might just not be able to contend. Perhaps a bit of speed here. That initial smoke goes down. You see that Gen.G doesn't necessarily want to challenge in the first 20 or so seconds of the round. Instead, the incendiary grenade to block off a little bit of coverage. They have to peek into the AWPs once again. And it works out perfectly. 3 for 3. And C9 have the whole of B. With automatic and Bentet pretty much reserved to saving. That flashbang's flawless. And automatic only able to scramble away by a whisker.
A very, very good response from Cloud9 there. They were caught off guard by the double AWP setup in the last. As you say, it's something that Gen.G haven't tried so far this map. But As soon as they knew it was there, they said, right, we need to get aggressive. We need to use all the flashbangs and take this control early on. And that's exactly what they did. Works out perfectly for them. It doesn't quite break the bank of Gen.G. And that is actually a monstrous flick there as well from Automatic. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to survive here with all of the T's closing in on their location, but they certainly might be able to if Automatic's hitting shots like that. Cloud9 back off. They realize they don't want to take any more casualties, but they do put their 12th on the board. This will be another full investment for Gen.G, though. As I say, their bank's not broken yet. Still an opportunity for them to try and put their 14th down.
Really interesting stuff. A close competitive first map. And this is Cloud9 now playing with their backs up against the wall. A fast run and gun strategy towards the B bomb site. A bit of a change of pace. The B split didn't actually work out the first time they threw it through. That time it absolutely did. Just pushing, flashing through smokes, getting right into Gen.G spaces. And once again, they'll challenge Bentet, fully blind. It's a double headshot. Lovely conversion of the angle. Switches through to the secondary AK. And now he's got 30 more bullets in the barrel. He's such a threat. Even when he's lagging behind on the scoreboard, you're just watching, waiting for him to come alive. And he absolutely does here in round number 26.
What do you do after you take 2 casualties so early on like that? You know that you have a huge disadvantage going forward in this round, and they need to try and level it back out. OC finding that frag certainly does so in the second as well. That is incredible. That opens up the B bomb site. They can now go for this plant in a 3-on-3 situation. How they've managed to flip this one back around is beyond me. But in doing so, I think they've actually secured the round. Gen.G, are they going for the save call here?
I don't think so. I think they're actually posturing in for the first frag. If they can't find it in the next 10 or so seconds, they'll probably backtrack. And with the smokes and Molotov already down, that might be the best call, especially with Sonic wrapping through. CT spawn, it's the headshot. And here comes the conversion. Bentet does find one more. It's a triple kill before OC rips him to pieces. 13-13, Cloud9. How the hell did they tie that one up? With Bentet finding those first 2 kills, he can pretty much sign the round away. But 2 fast frags from OC on the B bomb site. He's got that big beefy HLTV rating for a reason. And we're seeing a good example of it here on the side stream. 13-13, C9, they are firmly back in this game.
Some real beautiful shots to showcase his skill. Now we level things up. That was just pretty flawless. Even that wraparound as well. Sonic taking out the flash, completely denies the retake. Now Gen.G, they really haven't got a whole lot to work with. I like the fact they don't go for an investment here. They could have actually squeezed out something half decent. Instead, they just go for the pistols. They want a full investment in the next. They don't want to be playing for the overtime. And they're dealing some damage with it in the meantime as well. Some finding that kill with the CZ. But I can't imagine they're really expecting to win this round. All just grouped up. They want to try and play this one together as a unit.
No, they can hope, they can pray. But I don't think Gen.G can carry this one through. That'll give Cloud9 a 14th round here. Especially as Floppy is the sole proprietor of this A-bomb site. There's pretty much no way back in here for Gen.G. Maybe with this badly placed smoke, there is a second one, so it should go down. I really want to see OC place it, and well, there it goes. Fully blocks off the visual of Automatic there. He's been pretty much flawless this map. 28 frags to his name, but unable to connect with those fully blind shots. And now it's time for Gen.G to hunt for perhaps damage, and only damage here, utilizing this boost. Floppy is going to dismount it. Quick kill. And now just looking to save this AK-47, which should have been impossible. Sonic, he's got the aim punch advantage, but with Bentet on headshot duty, he's really started to step up in the last couple of rounds. Of course, no opportunity at a retake here. Just save these premium rifles, of course, going into round number 28 and beyond. What a massive change of pace for C9, though. This is a map that they really need to win in the context of this series. Going through to Nuke, you can't really fancy their chances. I think if they can take 2 of the next 3 rounds, we are looking at a potential 3-mapper series, with Vertigo being the decider. coming up. We've still got Nuke to go. It's Counter-Strike at the end of the day. It's a coin flip at best. But Gen.G, we know how good they are on Nuke. We know that C9 really don't have the string of results on that particular map as well. But we have gone the distance here on Dust.
Absolutely. With the scoreline so close, you absolutely know it's going to be a hell of a series. Going on to Nuke, a stronghold map for Gen.G. Very nearly confirms that third. Molotov just missing. Actually allows MOTM to stay in that corner unchecked. Might be able to swing out and deal some damage as the flash goes over. I think he's finally been spotted out. So still only a 4 versus 4. Gen.G not falling off of this one though. Of course, Bentet's in the pit and Automatic wants to support with that AWP. Actually, Cloud9 just falling off of it. They want nothing more to do with that. They know that there's 2 CTs in place. And with that aggression over towards B as well in the tunnels, they've got all of the information and they can start to pull these rotations over.
They need to check for Som, and wow, once again, he actually gets the damage done. That's the second time C9 haven't checked the angle. Previously on the A-bomb site with the MP9, this time with the meaty, beefy M4. As he's able to spray away too. CXCY just looking through the tunnels with Automatic connecting another shot. It leaves OC clutching at straws and looking for kills on the A-bomb site. He has got the AWP in hand, but this is practically impossible on 27 HP. He throws in a couple of nades for his troubles. No point in dying with them on his back. Maybe the smoke grenade can buy him a little bit of space, but here comes the double peek surely from Gen.G. They should be able to trade off the back of this one, but also finding the first shot, there's Som to collapse on and find that final pickup. 14 to 14. We see C9 throw through their second tactical timeout.
Really a good time to do so. You got 4 to play with, and yeah, we're coming to the closing rounds of this map, so a real good time for one. Really fantastic round from Som there, actually, to find those 2 kills. And it actually goes untraded as well. When they found a kill and backtracked off, I assumed that they'd killed Som, but they didn't. They killed Bentet on short and decided to backtrack and go round. So Som, round the edge of a smoke, gets aggressive, finds 2 kills, and gets away with it, and then finds a 3rd later on in the round as well. It's really incredible stuff. And for Cloud9 to not capitalize and punish him for it.
That's the point, isn't it, Josh? I don't understand why they're not checking these angles. That's the second time that Som alone has killed more than 2 players, doing tons and tons of damage in a situation where he should be able to get away with maybe 1 at best.
He's just been allowed far more than he should have been, and with Kusta doing tons of damage on long, even finding the 3rd kill. This might be match point here for Gen.G. MOTM gets punished as well, and this has crumbled for Cloud9. They have not had a lot of success at long. Such an incredible 3K from Kusta there to secure it, and with JT, a 2 versus 1 situation. No chance whatsoever. CXCI is going to be the one to finish him off. Had he have crossed there was certainly potential, but with no smoke to get him across that huge gap, he was always going to be punished. And now Gen.G, 1 round away from closing out this first map, which would be Cloud9's map pick. And what are they going to face up against? There's no money in the Cloud9 bank right now.
No, this is an absolute catastrophe. Probably an understatement as well there. We'll see a couple of pistols come through. The single AK-47 for OC, who has been the highest fragger thus far on Dust. But with the smokes away, that's towards mid. Som now peering through. This is again long control. This time, Gen.G doesn't decide to contest, just leaving the smoke grenade out in the open. Actually, a pair of smokes to try and isolate any member over by pit. But Gen.G have gone for a completely reverse defense, playing lots and lots of mid control. They've actually got 2 players towards the middle of the map, another pair of players on short. And this all comes down to the 1-deeks once again. A really weird smoke grenade for Kusta, but they should be able to hold up with the rifle advantage.
Giving up this site's a dangerous game, but with 5 still alive, tons of utility. No damage dealt. Gen.G should be able to claw this one back. OC is trying to say no. He wants to find these kills, bring this one to overtime. The trade's coming through. Everyone on Gen.G in place to shut this one away. And Maybe not. Kusta gets taken out. OC still doing damage. This might come back into play for Cloud9. Zitzi's misses all of his shots, and what on earth was that? OC takes it to OT. That was... I don't even know. I don't even know what happened there. That was so fast.
Just safety in numbers. We talked about the power of that short play for C9 when they only had unarmored pistols. They try and rinse and repeat that strategy. Now they actually have one rifle in hand over towards the long area, and no contest from Gen.G. They don't have anybody actually on the A site. Everybody's either lingering towards short, towards mid, completely caught and locked out of the action by a couple of smoke grenades. And Josh, we see our first bout of OT here in the ESL Pro League. For me and you, at least. I'm sure that they've seen lots and lots of overtime. Actually, on the main broadcasts.
So. There's been a lot of Counter-Strike played. I'm sure we have seen some OTs, but who would have expected this one? Especially considering Cloud9 only had pistols to work with going into that 30th. OC just putting up some fantastic frags with Eagles coming through as well. Really, really incredible stuff. And, well, unfortunately, going straight into overtime, we actually go into a pause.
Yeah, I think this is just a break of pace that always happens. I'm pretty sure maybe that's the whole rule here. That you've got that little 3-minute break coming up between these two rosters here. That seems to be the case, though, coming into overtime number 1. And who does this necessarily favour? I feel like Cloud9 probably have the momentum here coming into overtime. They were behind since the very start. So I think this has been a pretty closely contested game. But who's been winning the rifle rounds? I've got to say C9, to be perfectly honest. Gen.G with a couple of these eco round victories. The pistols actually doing tons of damage. But they're in round number 30, C9 just clinging on. Remember, this is a must-win map for them. Really important stuff to carry them through this series. And I actually just wonder what the buy is going to look like here for Gen.G. Are they going to go for the double AWP setup? I assume that'll be the case with this being MR316K. We'll see Som picking up the first, automatic on the second.
Yeah, I was just about to say it, to be honest. Are Gen.G going to go for that double AWP setup? They had quite a lot of success with it in the rounds that they did decide to play it. It's interesting to see Som picking up that second AWP. I would expect it to be Kusta. However, Som's that B-man, so it makes sense to have automatic. Being quite versatile on that A site where he's going for the picks on short, going for the picks over on long, and then Som just being that B anchor with that AWP in hand can hold on to that whole area of the map. And he's been playing fantastically with it as well. We've seen a few really nice plays from him. Let's see if they can keep it up though, because of course Cloud9, if you think back, and it seems like we're going back a long way, but it's still only been one map. In the first round that Gen.G went for that double AWP setup, worked out perfectly for them, really caught Cloud9 off guard. As soon as Cloud9 knew what they were up against, though, and they knew that their opponents were running this double AWP setup, they went super aggressive over towards middle and B. They used all the flashbangs, and they just overwhelmed those AWPs from Gen.G. So if Cloud9 go into overtime right now, they anticipate the fact that they may well be up against a double AWP setup. Gen.G might fall to the same fate. We're just going to have to wait and see as we kick things off now.
Overwhelmed into overtime here. 15-15, as close cut as it could possibly be. And automatic gets traded off that first and initial frag. The Molotov actually forces Kusta backwards. Doesn't want to face the fire. Instead, backtracks onto the A site. Motum telegraphed, drops that smoke. Instead, Sonic, he misses a key one in the meantime. Spotted a shoulder. That was a key shot to nail on towards the A bomb site.
We go 1-for-1 so far. Look at this CT aggression, though. Even with Kusta up close, he's now been spotted as he's found that frag onto OC, but trading evenly for now. 3 versus 3, Bentep pushing right through the smoke, gives them a man advantage. And JT's got to try and bounce this one back. He's found the headshot onto Som, can't do any more than that, though. And with the bomb down, Sonic might be able to snatch it. Surely Bentet anticipates this. No, he doesn't. He's looking the wrong way. A 1 versus 1 now for Sonic to try and clutch up. But as he runs away, does he spot the head? Just about spots it. Actually going for the repeat. Wants to try and connect the shot, and timing doesn't work out for him. Nonetheless, he's able to get back to this B bomb site. Now we see a 1 versus 1 retake scenario.
The easy way to close this one out is sooner rather than later. The Molotov does gift him a couple of extra seconds with Kusta closing in. Sonic prioritizes the B tunnels, switches around and nails the shot, and that's C9 taking a narrow lead.
Wow, I'm very, very surprised that Gen.G weren't able to close that one out. They had the man advantage. They had the bomb down on short. They had all 3 players stacked up over towards short as well, as they had full control of it. He just let it slip away, not anticipating Sonic's position. Cloud9 pull ahead. Of course, 16k over time. They've got tons of money, so they will opt for this double up setup once again. The aggression from Cloud9, something we haven't seen in a little while. They push right out long, find that opening kill onto Kusta, gives them that man advantage, and it goes untraded. Bentet knows that he can't call a flash and swing because there could be 2, 3, 4 guys there. He has absolutely no idea, and in the meantime, his teammates are falling like flies.
This one almost looks over with Gen.G completely outmaneuvered towards the B side of the map. Bentet needs to close in, and it's CX the first to be challenged. Does find both of those frags, and there's nobody to punish for C9. They're completely locked towards mid with the bomb a million miles away. And Floppy, being the one further pincer, now needs to challenge Bentet. This is not an advantageous angle with the M4, especially as he goes for that wide, wild peek. CX misses a shot in the meantime. C9 want to barrel down in front of him. A double headshot leaves his Sonic in a 1 versus 2. Back-to-back clutch situations needed as he pushes through those mid-smokes right into the waiting arms of Automatic there, who does fail to connect the shots one more time. Now reverting to CX, who needs the ace. He does come in with the goods. 16-16. We're even Stevens once again, as Dust2 is providing us no victor.
Really, really incredible stuff there from CX. That is really flawless. Another round that we see here on Dust2 where team finds those 2 opening picks. You think, yeah, very, very rarely do you see in a buy round, you find the 2 openers and you still lose it. CXCI coming through with an incredible ace. Levels things out, 16-16. A nice setup there from Cloud9 to go for those AWPs, try and spam through the doors. They weren't able to find anything, and now they pick up those rifles, actually get their heads in the game. In the meantime, Gen.G have taken quite a lot of control. Aggressive stances over towards long, double setup on B. No one contesting mid though. Does mean that Cloud9 can gain quite a lot of legroom through these doors, especially with OC finding that opening pick.
We're at the minute mark, and with Gen.G losing their first player, that's Kusta, instantly eliminated. CX wants to be the saving grace towards the middle of the map. Instead, he gives away a 2-man advantage to C9. Automatic now wants to take another more aggressive stance. He has been the heavy hitter with his AWP. Instead, has to fall back, not quite into the CT spawn, but reverse and revert onto long, where Floppy becomes the back pincer, and C9, they've already taken the majority of this A-bomb site. They'll pretty much have the flank in full effect, and with OC holding through the flank from short, this round and half is firmly over. There's surely no way that Gen.G make their way back onto A, with Automatic finding a pair of shots, though, brings it back into contention. A flick misses by a whisker, and it's Som versus a pair of players. JT needs to play this incredibly passive, baiting him into the crossfire instead the jump nails, and Floppy finds the shot. It's an easy 17th for C9 as we go into overtime. Well, not overtime number 2, but half number 2 of OT1.
Had me on the edge of my seat there, especially when Automatic anticipated that 3rd man from behind on long. Just couldn't quite connect the flick. Cloud9 were able to pull ahead. We're going incredibly back and forth, though, and unsurprisingly, it seems to be off the back of a lot of individual plays on Gen.G's side. This double up setup now coming into fruition for Cloud9. It's Sonic and OC to wield them. Gen.G just playing a really slow default, actually spread all around the map, waiting for some kind of aggression. They want to try and punish it if it comes through. Not committed to anything as of yet, though.
Oh. OC spots out maybe a shoulder. I don't know anatomically if you can even call that a shoulder. That was basically not even skin. Sonic in the meantime towards the middle of the map, and there's nobody to punish there for Gen.G. Very discoordinated and disjointed affair. We usually favour C9 for their teamwork, Gen.G for the firepower, and that really has been the case of this game, with, of course, Automatic being a massive member, and C9 just, holding down the line as a 5. This time, Gen.G, it's a trio of headshots opening up the pointy letter. And OCJT, they're completely locked away. A retake that they'll want to go for, considering there's $16,000 in the bank. But this should bring the scoreline level once again. We saw 14-14, 15 apiece, 16 apiece. And now we might be going to 17s for both of these teams. Flashes connect. There are the shots. Nice simple stuff for Gen.G.
Yeah, really, really clean. Beautiful execution onto that A-bomb site as well. The flash was almost flawless. And when MOTM went for the peak, he had 2 opponents that were fully blind, but Som wasn't. And Som ripped his head clean off. They were able to take the bomb site and take the round off of it. 17-17 now. Of course, another full investment from Cloud9. They go for the double up setup once again. Let's see what Gen.G bring to the table. This time going for a little bit of a faster play towards long. Som, awkward from our angle. Both players flash, spraying away. Who's going to find their opener? It is going to be Cloud9, actually finding themselves 2.
It's those flashes that massively favour the CT sides. They can sit within the smokes, whereas Gen.G forced out into the open. And losing Ben Tep, that's a massive member to flail out of the server. Som also gone, puts them at a big disadvantage as they want to isolate a 3-man split towards this B site. It's Motum actually flashing his way through, and there's just nobody to trade off the back of it. Looking like a flawless affair for Cloud9 as they might put themselves onto map point. Finally here on Dust2 they do. It's OC to convert it, a flawless round for the CT side, as this might be one and done for this first map.
OC has been pulling it out the bag these final rounds. Actually, in regulation and in overtime here. As soon as he's got that AWP in hand, he's very, very dangerous. Sitting on 34 frags right now. 1 round away from taking this map, Cloud9. Gen.G unable to find themselves anything through the doors. A little bit of damage onto Floppy, but that's about it. And as they retrieve the bomb, they want to head over towards this B bomb site with it.
That's actually quite a big deal right now. Floppy's totally isolated. If Gen.G knew how much damage they've done and decide to pull the trigger onto this solo hold, there's every opportunity that they can just roll into control and absolutely eliminate him right off the bat. This pick means absolutely everything. It's Automatic. Oh, he finds the first shot. That's stunning. The A-bomb site might actually bait Gen.G into the triple defense.
After that initial pick, no more information coming off of it. It very much looks that way. Bomb starts to rotate over. They start to walk into this stack. OC needs to connect this shot. He's got several angles that he's concerned about. The flash is going to force him off of it. And there we go. He falls, can't connect the head. And now a 3-man advantage for Gen.G. There's surely no way that JT and MOTM can pick this one back up. JT an opportunity to drop the bomb, but instead find someone else. He gets taken out, and Gen.G put themselves onto 18. We're going to a second OT here, Squid. 1 overtime wasn't enough to separate these two sides.
No, absolutely not. And I think C9 just making a couple of mistakes. They're a little bit overzealous on the A bomb site, peeking into automatic Zorb. He's on 34 frags, for God's sake. Seems to be a big disadvantage, to say the least. You pretty much want to give him absolutely nothing to work with. I think Kusta might actually be picking up the AWP for this long play here. You don't quite catch it on this observer angle, but with JT not really flailing out into the open, Kusta doesn't get away with it and should probably just drop this AWP backwards back to automatic now. He's been just such a good member. Kusta actually did have his day with the AWP in the first couple of years of his career when he was basically just beasting everybody on Tier 2 CS and Tier 3 level of American play. He was one of the real hot prospects in the North American scene, but kind of gone quiet over the last couple of years. He hasn't played up to that level. Rotom, he's doing it again. Remember the CT side about an hour ago, and he was getting aggressive. This time, C9, they do convert with a secondary frag. It's Sonic getting himself behind this car. Still aggressively poised with the sniper. But are Gen.G going to realize this? This all comes down to timing.
Absolutely does, and timing going in Gen.G's favour as they find all the frags to back it up. Venter goes huge, and now it's all down to Floppy. Can't connect the shot, even has to run through the Molotov to do so, and he gets completely ripped to shreds. Gen.G put themselves onto 19. A fantastic start to OT2 for them.
(19-18). And a short advantage. Knowing that C9, I don't necessarily know which side they favour. I would say slightly the CT side based off the start of this series. But now the double AWPs really need to come to fruition. We actually saw this combination in round number 2, and this time Gen.G have nobody towards the B side of the map. If they speed things up towards A, they could completely circumnavigate this defense and leave Sonic on his lonesome. That headshot might just convert things on the A bomb site. Cloud9 monstrously out-positioned, and CSGO, that smoke grenade might just be the saving grace there. C9 surely can't push through that. That, with the combination of the Molotov, holds them at bay. And holding this smoke here until, I guess, the 20-second mark of this bomb going down. Might just want to backtrack into a more passive angle. There's another Molotov, and C9 needs to push right through it. They take tons of damage. Now it's Som on the line. 2 kills from Floppy, but they've got so many angles to breach and break. A 3 versus 3 with a massive health deficit. And with automatic holding the angle, that might just slam the final nails in this coffin. It's 20 rounds to Gen.G.
This is scary. This is Cloud9's map pick if Gen.G can take it. It puts Cloud9 in a horrible position. They'll have to win Nuke to stay afloat in this series. Gen.G are getting eerily close to being able to make this work. They've certainly had stronger T sides than their CT sides here on Dust2. They're looking fantastic right now. If they can take this third, they'll have 3 map points to try and close out when they move on to their CT half. Real important round for Cloud9 to try and take it.
Yeah, a real make or break moment here for the C9 boys, and that's a really important frag to find. I think it comes down to the CSGO duel towards the top of tunnels. He does backtrack, the timing not really working out. This gives a lot of map control to C9, as now they know that there's very little B presence, and CSGO is the only member towards this side of the map. As a result, they have given away the whole of long, not aggressively poised for this angle, but taking away that key man towards the middle of the map leaves Gen.G just clutching at straws and really needing to push onto this A site sooner rather than later in the 3 versus 5. This will be surely a simple retake. This is one that C9 absolutely have to take over the top. And with the smokes replaced, Kusta watching towards long, C9, they're about to pull the trigger.
4 men stacked up on short. Kusta should be able to get this player on long. but they have to win the gunfights here as attention's drawn away, but he somehow flicks and hits the shot. A 3 versus 3 scenario. JT's trapped behind the Molotov, but he gets all the kills nonetheless, and it's all down to Kuster. A 1-on-3 situation, the AWP in hand, the tap comes through, and he's able to get himself one, but he doesn't want to go for the re-peek, and the stick was there. Cloud9 put themselves onto 19. That came incredibly close. I'm quite surprised that Kuster doesn't swing for the shot there.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. He has no idea what C9 are doing. Maybe they do decide to stick that bomb. That seems to be the clever option. Sometimes against an AWP, you want to tap the bomb and then maybe go for the wide swing. It's a bit of a double-edged sword, but C9 definitely making the right play in that decision, getting that bomb defused, playing the objective. And now Gen.G, they will be at least challenged to this victory in the second half of the second bout of overtime. Here early in this round, a bit of chaos towards A long, to be perfectly honest. Gen.G completely forfeit that side of the map, but deciding just to fall away onto A as a result.
We've seen a lot of messy engagements over on long that have led to these real coin flip rounds where a flash comes over, there's a load of sprays, and it's really a spray and pray moment. Gen.G making the right call to actually just fall away from it. They know that there will be some Cloud9 players stacked up. They can deal with the control in alternative ways. As the smokes go through, Cloud9 want to try and bombard their way onto this A-bomb site. Kuster dancing around this smoke, wants to try and find something, actually gets punished for getting aggressive, but Bentek bounces right back. 4 versus 4, making a 4-on-3 as MOTM gets a very, very nice headshot. And that actually opens up the bomb site for Cloud9. The retake is very close, but this utility keeping them at bay for now.
There are a couple of X factors here. OC towards the middle of the map with an AWP. He's been locked out of the action, creating a 3 versus 3 on this A site. And with Sonic connecting another headshot, Som has to come in massive. A 1 versus 3 scenario again in C9, able to wrap up the scoreline. 20-20. Remember, Josh, 22 is the magic number here in the first map. We've spoken about it since the start. C9, this is a must-win map if they're going to take this series. I really don't fancy their chances going on to nuke. I think anything can happen at this point. We see the double AWP sat up once again. Som surely heading towards the B bomb site. Automatic up to 35 frags with the sniper. You don't want to be taking him away from that scoped rifle for even a second. And maybe the change of pace for C9. They actually miss automatic, allowing him to bail to B with a one-man advantage.
Him posted on the wrong angle there. That should be a free kill for Cloud9, but not when automatic is hitting crazy flicks like that. Gives them the man. Makes that the second as well, as Bentek gets super aggressive through long, and now Cloud9 are panicking. Their palms are sweaty. They've got a 2-man disadvantage. They have absolutely no idea where their opponents could be. Som missing quite an important shot, even missing the second as well. But Bentek starting to pick up the pieces. 2 quick headshots, and they should be able to close this one out. Cloud9 getting completely denied at the door here in the 41st round. And Sonic can't do anything in that 1 versus 4 situation. Gen.G now on map point. And if Cloud9 can take this one, then we take it to a 3rd overtime.
Yeah, we've gone past the distance at this point. By the way, Som absolutely getting bailed out of worlds of trouble there. Missed 2 very routine AWP shots there on the A-bomb site. Stuck in Goose, you really need to hit at least that first or even the second shot. He doesn't connect with anything. It's Bentek to really pick up the pieces. You see him picking up 3 frags. Back onto 31 kills now, actually in second place on Gen.G, as they want to close this out. Remember, we're looking for 22 rounds. Som does step up. Kuster as well eviscerates the long aggression, and Sonic has to do it all here, diving down to the CT spawn, able to catch CXCY in his saving grace. Pants down, unarmed. Instead, it's Sonic to find the shots. And now taking long control, bomb in the open. The AK-47 needs to pile drive through, and Kuster takes a risk for the quad kill. It works out. It's 22 for Gen.G as they steal away Cloud9's map.